Welcome to the kitchen sink. We will chat, we will make you think. You will not want to go to the loo. You could miss a lot if you had that poo. Stay and watch and join in. Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Hello everyone. Welcome to the kitchen sink. I'm Sarah and this is
Lucy Orchard. Hello.
Hello, Lucy Orchard.
Hello, Sarah Bridgman.
Hello, how are you? If you haven't been, that's a rhetorical question. Don't answer it yet. If you haven't been to the kitchen sink before, it's a comedy chat show where we have a special guest every week. This week it's the wonderful Vix Leyton, who is popping by to tell us what she's been up to since January. When was the last time we saw her? We'll tell you a bit about why we couldn't have her as like Carlson, unfortunately. And we got our regular features this week. We've got Opinion Place and whatever else we're going to chat about, and also our old and new comedy review. And this week we are reviewing Phyliss Diller, the 2 on YouTube. Did anybody watch it? Is anybody going to join? I know I watched it because I did the usual. I watched that on the weekend. Did I? No, I watched it about an hour ago. Like I always do, scribble away furiously. Which one is it, Lucy? Which one? So, anyway, so we're going to start off as well. If you are watching from all over. It could be Twitch, it could be YouTube, it could be Facebook. Please join in on the chat. We love joining. Otherwise, it's just us two waffling on at each other. So it'd be lovely if you'd like to tell us how you are. How's your week been? Are you looking forward to Easter? We'll be very interested to find out. I'm not drinking, unfortunately, even though it feels like end of term, because next week we're on annual leave for a week. When we come back, we have some amazing guests for you, if they don't break their collarbones and stuff. So, Lucy, get well soon. Hey, Ali. Hi, Alison. Hi, Len. Hey, Ray, you got up on time.
Well done.
Ladies. Well done. How are you? And, of course, your favourite and mine, Hugh Jadis.
Hey!
Hi, Hugh. How's it? I was wondering why we didn't have a question. Hopefully it's because you're giving it in person, as it were. So, Lucy, how are you?
Because I have now moved. I've moved.
Yes!
Moved. Which means that I don't know where anything I own is.
Cheers.
Cheers, love. Cheers. I mean, the dedication to better Wi-Fi. I think I should win a fucking award. I'm going to move.
Yes. I'm going to nominate us for next year's Streamies.
Exactly. Dedication to online comedy. I moved house.
Thank the Lord for that, because it was driving us crazy.
It was, I gotta be honest, it was making me sad inside my heart.
Yes.
And I'm doing
making me
voice
angry,
so I don't cry.
I bet, because I had that happen to me once at Christmas. I was furious. So for that to happen every week for nearly a year.
Across all my shows.
It was worse for the sink, though. It was like the gods of Wi-Fi went, this is your favourite out of all of your shows, so it's going to stick you up.
Last week I accepted a paid gig via Zoom because moving costs money. So I accepted a paid gig upstairs. And the Zoom was amazing. And I thought, wow, I'm already set up. You know, I don't have to fill the kitchen again people's way. I could do it from my room. Did big world small talk, and it was.
Oh no!
And I was like, guys, I don't think you understand. No. They're like, it's better than it was. I was like, better than it was is not what I want.
No, not good.
So, of all the stuff I packed, I had a plastic box with all my underwear in.
A what box? A what box? A what? What's that? What's a plastic box?
A plastic box full of all my stuff, and then another plastic box entirely full of sequins.
Ah, what are you going to do?
Clean underwear, sequins.
Oh, you need. And a third one with a glue gun. And he can marry those three together. Perfect.
This is actually
next year.
I last wore this dress to do
Very
real
nice.
stand-up. Real stand-up. Do you remember real stand-up where you really stood up? And it's actually it's meant to be the other way round.
Right.
It's a bit now. It's a bit now.
Stand up for me now, chicken. Let's see now. Is it low? That's not low. Your boobs are low, but your dress is not.
That is not happening. Well, as Phyliss Diller said, when they fitted me for a bra, they used a level.
What do you mean? What's not happening? All I saw was a back. What's wrong with it?
Right. So this is like a cap. This is meant to be like a loose back bit.
Right. Oh, I see.
This is meant to be the front.
It looks fine. I don't see the difference.
Well, when I put it on, it's like, oh, are you saving up for a padded bra, love?
And are you?
I don't know which box that's in. I only brought pants.
No, I want a new high-vis vest, like a proper woman. Yes.
In fact, the whole sentence is I brought high-vis clothes, sequins and underwear, and the rest of my stuff is missing in transit. I have no idea where anything is.
You can get new stuff.
But look at my Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Look
Very
at my
nice.
Wi-Fi. It's like 3 fucking D.
Lovely. It is. I feel like you're going to slap me on the face. You're just coming out with the screen. It's so clear.
Whilst we're here.
Yes.
Anything to say to me?
Yes. No, it's not your birthday, is it? And it's not New Year. It's not Christmas. Congratulations on your move. Have you got a new job?
I posted about it today. Oh
shit! I wouldn't have seen that. I'm busy. I've got a day job. Have you got a new face? I don't know.
This is our first year anniversary of meeting.
Is it? Oh shit!
Yes, it is. I'm that one in the relationship, aren't I? I am. Yeah, but this is the first time we had coffee together.
This is the first time I sent you a message. You didn't reply for 3 days, but that's okay. It's fine. Yes, I know the one. We have. This is why we meet like this, so that we have, witnesses. If I go missing, check her. I've done it the wrong one. Check her house. Check her backyard.
Have you seen my stand-up? I'm too lazy to dig a hole.
Oh my God, has it really been a year today?
The first ever rough as that myself, Bill Wadden and Dr. Becky Long came to rough as.
Oh, great. No, I had no idea. Sorry.
That's okay. Sorry. I'll just, as Kylie said, tears on my pillow. Hey, my heart caused by you.
I remember our anniversary. Well, I don't remember. You reminded me last week. Our anniversary of this is in May.
Yeah, the 14th, because it's 2 days after my birthday. Why am I that one in the relationship? No. In my last real relationship, I couldn't even tell you what his name was.
I quite like it.
I'm here on my anniversary. I'm going out with that one.
I've never felt so wanted in my life. It's great. As long as I keep you 300 miles away, it's all good.
One second, everybody join in with me. I know that I can't see you, but I want everybody to do the
eyebrow.
Paddington Bear hard stare.
You can't do a Paddington Bear hard stare.
No, I can't.
You really can't. This is a Paddington Bear hard stare.
Oh shit! You should give me more warning when that comes up.
I know. I only bring it out once in a while. Me and Ben Stiller in Zoolander. Right. So, have we got other news? Can I tell you my news?
Sorry. I've been very, very self-obsessed with the move right now. In fact, I've written a stand-up written a stand-up bit about how self-obsessed I am about it. So, Sarah, how has your week been? My love, my angel, my darling.
I don't know about my week because I don't have that kind of memory. But Today is April Fool's Day. Yeah, we had a year off from it last year. Do you remember? Because last year, no one wanted to do any kind of pranks or anything because we'd been pranked enough by the universe. Damn you, COVID. So this year feels like I was pranked by one of my best buddies, Lenny Lenehan. And right, I'm going to show you how she pranked me. Let's see if you would have been taken in by this. Okay, let me see if I can find where the thing is. Right, I'm going to show you a picture. She sent me this picture and it said, oh my God. We're both into cycling. We both just bought new bikes. She bought her bike about 6 months ago. I bought my bike recently. And so, cycling's on my mind. And we're going to go for a bike ride on Saturday. And she goes, oh my God. Parents have complained about the speed of bikes, so they put a speed camera on the cycle path, right? Okay, how many seconds would it have taken you to go? Oh,
this is clearly photoshopped.
In my defense,
how many messages, and did you ring the council?
I got this, babes. Don't you worry. I'll have that thing taken down.
On hold.
I got a hacksaw in the shed. I'll be down now. No, it didn't take me that long, but I'm just looking at how long it took. I was like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And then I went, oh no. Total face palm. I was like, it's April Fool's Day. But I was had, and I was very happy to be had. And then I forwarded it. I didn't forward it to you because you'd have that straight to be like, hold off, I'm driving a truck right now.
And to be honest, I've got to be honest, I'm not in the I love cyclists camp.
We're all right in a cycle path.
On that cycle path is fine, but not. I had a young girl. Sorry, I know this is
talking about you. This is all about you, is it?
Right, back to you.
No, carry on, Lucy.
I was at a zebra crossing, watching people cross in front of me. So I'm like, target.
Not plowing them over like you normally do then.
Yeah, target eyes, watching, right? And just as I went to pull off, as a driver, minute you go to pull off, you go check. 14-year-old girl on a cyclist leaning against the side of my truck.
Oh, that's a bit rude. Especially when you're about to pull off.
Do you like death?
There's nothing worse than a 14-year-old leaning against your carcass when you're trying to pull off. So anyway,
back to you.
I can't remember what I was going to say now. I forwarded it to a bunch of people because I'm like, I want to know somebody. I just wanted someone else to get gullible, to be gulled like I was. I know, I'm aware I'm gullible, but I think of it as trustworthy. I think that's nice. And hiya, Steph. Psychopath.
There's a speed camera on the psychopath to see where he's going.
Your subtitles got it absolutely right. I forwarded it to some people. I'm pleased. I thought it would only be me, but I'm very pleased to say other people got duped as well. Yes.
I fell for one.
Bad. I don't like pranking people.
I fell for one. A comedian, John Mulhill, that I know and love from the Drop Comedy Club in South Bend, Indiana, put the mess. I mean, in my defense, it was 6 a.m. I've just fed the cats. I'm looking at Facebook with one eye thinking, who the fuck gets up this early? And I'm drinking coffee and I'm just looking through and I saw it pop up and he goes, right, I'm coming off Facebook. Nobody likes my posts. I'm just going to take a Facebook break. And he's so funny. He writes really good one-liners. And my first thing was, don't leave. I really like your stuff. And then I went, oh, fuck. He got me. Got me.
Revenge. It's always next year. You can get them for revenge. And at 6 a.m. is not too early. I know someone who pulled a prank at like a minute past midnight.
Oh, so there's a special place in Dante's Inferno for an arsehole like that.
Yeah. I like because I love seeing all the companies that are like doing I like to spot, like there's usually you know, a front page of a newspaper somewhere doing some sort of thing. And I like trying to spot all those. But the only one I've seen, not that I've looked very hard this year, but the only one I've seen is, you know, the food company Innocent.
Coca-Cola owns that.
Okay, all right. Fun at parties, you are, innit? Right, so anyway, the food company Innocent. Shall I just Google that, see if that's accurate?
So sorry. Keep going. Just keep going over me. Just go. Imagine I'm not here.
So Innocent, their prank was they said that they'd teamed up with Heinz and that they were doing a cooked breakfast smoothie with baked beans and egg and everything. Yeah, I was like, what? I mean, oh yeah, April 1st. April 1st. I don't think they are owned by Coke, you know, because I saw a documentary where they looked very like, hey, we started this company from scratch years ago. So I'm going to Google it. I don't think it's right.
I was in a comedy workshop last night, and
that's why I go for all my facts. Uh-huh.
and Maggie was saying, oh, well, we should do something as a group. So I said, well, why don't we say that you had a special visitor and that anybody that attended this session was guaranteed a spot at the Pleasance Theatre in the next Edinburgh Fringe. And she's like, really? And I took a screenshot, went on to Canva. For those who don't know what Canva is a wizard in an app that creates posters. And I made her an announcement poster to say that, you know, people that attended the session were going to be given a prime time spot in a premiere venue. And Maggie, if you're watching, shame on you because you didn't post it. And I made that poster for you.
Maggie.
I
take it all back. Yeah, Innocent owned by Coke. Oh, yuck.
Yeah, I worked with Innocent once. It was, and they were just a pair of bumbling guys. They're like, it's sort of yuppie.
Yeah.
And then the next minute they'd sold out. They were like, oh, we're so independent and we're so natural. What was that, Coca-Cola? £3 million? Please take our company.
Yeah. I think that's really sad. Remember they used to do knitted hats
for the drinks, yeah.
That's why they don't do knitted hats anymore, because Coke went, fuck that, we like profit too much.
Yeah.
Oh,
too cutesy. Wackaging. No wackaging anymore.
Lucy, do you have any opinions for us?
I
have opinions. Right.
I want yours.
Okay, so maybe I'm pressing the button. Maybe. Oh God, is you're gonna talk all over me all evening, aren't you? Right. I can't find it now. There it is. I got it. Right. Lucky for you, there's a place on the internet for your opinions.
Opinion place. Say what you want, right to my face.
Right. Do you want to go first or shall I?
You go first, because I did mine last week. If we don't have time for mine, that's fine. You go, Sarah. Go, Bridgman.
Okay, 10 minutes. We'll have time for yours as well. I've got two opinions. I'll go opinion number one, and then I'll come to you. All right. My opinion. Opinion number one. The clocks went forward this week. I've been like a goddamn zombie. Can we stop messing about with time? I'm absolutely sick of it. Yes, thank you. I can imagine everyone at home is standing up with applause. Woo!
There it is, guys, every week.
Hey, you did your money shot first.
I've got sequence on this week.
With a pause. All right. But yeah, the bloody clock's going forward. It's getting on my pip. Going back's not so bad because you get an extra hour and you wake up and you're like, "Ooh, is it 8 a.m.?" And it's not. I can't remember which way it goes round. Is it 8 a.m.? No, it's 7 a.m. You get extra time. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But in the bloody spring, oh my God. On the weekend, do you ever get those nights where you wake up in the middle of the night, you're awake for a couple of hours, and it's too early to get up? So you think, I'll just have a little 5 minutes and then I'll get up. 3 hours later, you wake up and it's the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Happened to me on Sunday. I missed half of my day off. Half of my day. I woke up and it was groggy and it was half a bloody 11. And I'm like, no, God damn you, daylight savings. fast forward in a friggin' hour, and then the end of the day, you don't know where you are with your food. The end of the day, you go to bed at 11:30, feeling like it's too early. It's just, I've been like a zombie all week. I've been trying to keep it together for work. Ain't happening. Just stop it. Stop
We're
it,
not
good
farmers.
woman.
We are not farmers.
We're not, and I know people say it's about the Scottish school children, but I'm sure they won't mind. There's not many of
I
them.
have never heard that before in my entire existence. What's the Scottish kids or the Waynes from Scotland? What have they done?
Why? There's only about 3 of them anyway, isn't it? Because Scotland's only 2 million people in Scotland. About 3 kids. And they all live on farms and they all homeschool anyway. Isn't that? No, that's not right, is it? Huge says, no, keep the clocks going forward as it's a shorter shift for me all night. Yes, but come the winter, it'll be a longer shift for you. Ray says, Ray, who struggles with his sleep and never sleeps, says, crap sleeping patterns must be awful.
Whilst we're saying hello to everybody, can I just do a quick hello to my good friend Gillian Evans, who was just recovering from procedure, and then Max Burton is watching as well. My friend Max is watching, and then we got hi from Seattle from Michael, who did cross-border comedy.
Hi, Michael.
And then we've got fellow comedian who's also a member of the West Country Women workshop, Fadia, who is I'm by my kitchen sink listening to the kitchen sink. Yay. You had to be there, and she was.
Oh, hi Fabia, thank you for joining in and for tuning in. It really feels like it's the end of term as well, so I'm sorry if I'm a little bit more all over the place than usual.
I brought my board games in, is that not right?
No, that is right. We'll play your board games because mine are downstairs. Craig Head says, "War." What's that about, Craig? Is that Scottish or is that pirate?
Oh, farmers, not farmers. It's gone,
war. Fair enough. And he also loves Seattle. Yes. So that is my opinion, one of my 2 opinions. Of the other opinion, I don't know if I'll save it because it'll be out of date if I do it next time.
Come on.
Do you want to do your opinion?
Or
should I do my other one?
Do yours.
Two for one. Okay. My other opinion is this. Easter. Okay. Easter, it's, make your mind up. Is it Jesus dying and then getting alive again? Or is it bunnies and bunnies and eggs? You can't have the two. We've got to make it. Today, people, we have to make a decision. Is it Jesus or is it eggs? Because Jesus is Christianity and eggs is paganism. I vote paganism. It seems like a much more fun kind of spiritual religion anyway. Stonehenge was involved. And as we know now, Stonehenge is Welsh. It's been another thing appropriated by the English. It's Welsh. Bring it back to Wales, I say. But I think we should all go pagan. Yeah, let's just try it.
We've just put it down, love. And you're like, actually, can I have it by the door? No. Put it by the window. No, I don't want it by the window. No, put it back by the door.
Put it down Singleton Park. You got a little one. There's parks all over Wales with a little Stonehenge in it. We always thought, there's a nice feature. No, it's been a secret signal from the parks going, they've stolen our henge. Here's one as a hint. Where is it? It could have been like a Midsummer Murders all this time. But anyway, what do we want to go for? Christianity or eggs? Paganism, you get chocolate. Jesus.
Well, everybody knows that Jesus died, went in a cave, laid a chocolate egg, made friends with a bunny, and then came back again. No, is that not I've got to stop Googling my facts.
Stop taking your facts from your comedy workshops and start. Well, I'd go. I wouldn't even Google it. Right, just take your facts from me, Lucy.
Take it from me.
Ray says confusion over a Christian holiday. Let me tell you about. Tell us about Christmas then, Ray. Because come on, Christmas has got to be Christian. It's in the name.
To be honest, I believe that Jesus was actually born at a different time of year, but people needed a winter festival to keep them working towards something, as there's nothing. So that's why in a lot of religions, it's Festival of Lights or gift giving.
Nicked it off the pagans. Go pagan, I say. I'm going to be a pagan from it. I've tried Buddhism. I read a book.
Easter is actually based, I think I can never work out how it's Oestar, I think, Oyster. And that is a pagan festival that they did just basically slap an E on.
Yeah. Disgusting.
And then Christmas is actually Samhain, as I do have Wiccan leanings.
Oh dear.
I do.
Surprise me. Where's your sage? Give us a waft.
My crystal's upstairs, actually, and my pentagram's on my bed. Not lying, boys and girls.
Where are your crystals?
My crystals are in the corners of my room. To ward off, and I didn't have the pentagram above my bed beforehand, and therefore I got into a relationship. So what have we learned?
Maybe I'm going to have a second think about the old paganism then. Although at least, women are fully involved in paganism.
Mother, the maid, and the crone.
In terms of Christianity, we're allowed to put flowers and dust the altar, and that's about it, isn't it?
Well, Christianity, there's only two types of women. They're both Marys. One's a virgin and one's a whore. No middle ground.
Can't win. With paganism, at least we get to be witches. It's amazing. Are we going to get told off for inciting people to a different religion?
What? Hang on. We're arguing about which imaginary friend to believe in. Ricky Gervais, hello.
There's nothing imaginary about flowers, and paganism is all about the earth and stuff, isn't it? It's about
the god and the goddess, about how the god kills everything in the winter and the goddess rebirths everything at spring, and it's the cycle of the natural order of things.
Really?
Harm none, so mote it be. I've actually read up on this shit.
You're not just taking it from like that one episode of
if you want a book on it, I've got about 60 of them. Somewhere in a storage unit near you.
There was a WandaVision with a witch, and I thought that looks nice. And then I thought, oh yeah, paganism.
You just say WandaVision as a basis for your religious argument. Brilliant. Yeah.
Marvel. It's as good as any other religion.
Marvel.
All right, so we have a guest in it. Are we done with our opinions?
Very quick, I can do it in 60 seconds. I've just moved home. I was on the phone to the council for approximately 7 minutes for them to tell me that I can only do the council tax online. And I kept saying, can we just do it now? And they went, no, you need to use it online. And then the woman who was working from home just wanted to chat because she was lonely. And I was thinking, you could, the system's in front of you.
Yeah.
And all she kept telling me was that I can go online. And I'm like, as opposed to what, spending, say, 15 minutes on the phone? Like I'm doing now.
Oh.
So all I know after a very long hold and a very long conversation is I'm free to do it by myself, so fuck off.
Yay. Result. Do you know, I had an email through where I might have discount off my council tax, but I have to fill in a form online.
Well, you should have single person occupancy, 25% off. Doesn't matter where you are.
Coolie boots. I've got that. Okay. Calm down. I get a letter every 10 years going, are you still single? I'm like, yes.
You're still single, Claire. Do you want the money off?
This is down now. Oh, anyway, that's the end of Opinion Place.
Opinion Place. Opinion Place. Say what you want. Get to my face.
Love Opinion Place. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest in our dining room. Woo! And she's very smart in there. I'm not sure about dragging her to a manky kitchen. What nibbles have we got out for our guests this week?
Well, the thing is, because we had Ursula Carlson coming on, I bloody stocked up on old South African and New Zealand niblets. I mean, there are things I couldn't pronounce. I had to get them off the internet. So what I did is I quickly shoved them all in the bin, and I've just got an array of pret-a-manger sandwiches because she's now a Londoner.
Oh, right. Well, fair enough. I was just going to say, yeah, just whap open a bag of crisps because she's been here before. She's met us. We can't give a good opinion now. She's met us. So anyway, I hope she's enjoying the nibbles in the dining room. Should we bring her through to the kitchen?
Put the silverware down, Vix. I watched you then.
First of all, here we go.
Special guest time, special guest time, special guest time.
And welcome to the stream, Vix Leyton!
Hi, how are we doing?
Very well. How are you, Vix?
All right. Yeah, I was just eating sensations, dipping them in hummus because I'm a classy girl.
Yeah.
Next door.
Best thing at a party, chocolate and hummus. Wait till you get
yeah.
the onion dip.
Oh, lush. People leave it to the end. I don't think it's because they don't like it. I think they're just embarrassed because it's a bit basic. I always go straight for it. Basically, the crisps are a receptacle for dip. If I could spoon it into my face and people wouldn't judge me, that's what I do.
If Ursula Carlson was here herself, in her Netflix special, she does a whole bit about which crisp has the best scoopage and the action you need for the angle of entry to get the girth of that.
That's a horrible little action, isn't it?
And Ursula is a lesbian, so she's good with that accent, I reckon.
You do want us to come on.
She can teach us a thing or two, I reckon.
Simmer down.
Oh, sorry, it's only 7:30.
No, it's all right. I've drank this whole bottle, so I am in good spirits. All good.
Can I first thank you, Vix, for not all heroes wear capes. Honest to God, when Ursula said she can't come, I was like, Vix, I need to get in touch with Vix. Vix is actually
that symbol was in the sky. I was like,
Vix has actually got stuff to talk about. I've seen stuff. I'd listened to, because we've got Rich Wilson coming up on the show, and I like Comedy Arcade, and I noticed that Rich was on it. I was like, I love Vix, I love Rich Wilson, and you were in my mind, and then I was like, ring the bell, blow the horn, get Leyton.
Oh, Rich has been amazing. He's been helping me with writing in lockdown as well. So I booked him for the last gig I did before lockdown, the last show I put on. He was the headliner. And so we'd only just made friends. I was like, I cannot wait to go drinking with this guy. And then lockdown happened. And yeah, that put pay to all my good plans. But fortunately, he stayed in touch and he's been so helpful. So.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant. Because he's doing an online course soon. And I don't know if you're aware of this. Because I'm dying I keep meaning to message him and going, right, what's the content? What's the content, Rich? Because he seems like such a fun guy that I really loved his set. I saw him on Buffering. I think you were on the same lineup, weren't you?
Yeah, maybe. Yes.
That's right. I was in the same room.
Yeah. But I was doing brand new stuff, like properly, like in the green room, brand new stuff. Because I have a set plans, and then everybody else seemed to be trying stuff. Because new material gigs that are secretly not new material gigs, where you are ready with your shitty notes, and then you hear people do the set they've been doing for 2 years. I thought it was going to be one of those, and then I saw everyone trying, and I was like, well, fine, I'll give some of my new stuff a try then. Let's take it in the spirit it's intended. It's so annoying though, because you need the time to go through the stuff that you've got, but you also don't want to be the shittest person on the night. So if everyone else is slick, you've just put the notebook aside and you go, right, I'm going to talk to you about all the other stuff you've already heard me say. I won't be the worst.
Hold fast, Vix, I say, because
catfish new material.
Yeah, because in our local new material, but where people will secretly do all their really good stuff, because it's a Friday night, it's Cardiff, it's Chapter Arts Centre, so the gig is called Drones. It's so much fun. When you've done Drones, I'm guessing. If you haven't,
no, I wanted to get on there, but I haven't lived in Cardiff for a while, so. Oh
yeah, just do a 3-hour drive from your.
I do it. I just think there's so much local talent. They don't need me. It's one of those.
We do need
the world always needs
do it anyway, honestly, because it is a lot of fun, but also I've been there many a time when I'm like, I'm just doing new stuff, because it's like it's been for the last 10 years, it's been my new material place, and then people will turn up. Ones that are like done really big gigs that are really and I've got really loads of good stuff online. I've got sitcoms on Radio Wales and stuff. They turn up and go, oh my god, I'm going to do my, this feels like it needs to be a good gig. It's like I'm with you. I'm very much like, no, you gotta try it. You can't not try it. Really, you've got to try your new stuff. Although you could,
otherwise you never will. And then you'll just be doing the same set in 20 years and people won't know any of the references. It's like, yay, remember Facebook? No. That's out. It was ethically questionable. No one's on that anymore, Vix. I'm still on Facebook. Hey.
Anyone tweeting? No, we're all in a terrible dystopian future.
It's been a shocker though, hasn't it? Because we can't talk about things that we did last week, the old last week. Because it doesn't exist anymore. You're like, oh, I was on the bus, and people are like, no, you weren't. You didn't break lockdown. You're like, no, you're right. I wasn't on the bus. I was in my house in my pants.
Yeah,
just like you were.
It's getting better though, because good old Swansea. Well done, Swansea. It was on the news that our COVID spike has gone up thanks to house parties on the weekend.
So the weekends.
Yeah,
is he going house to house doing a small performance in everyone's garden?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all me. Sorry, I was feeling a bit sniffly. I thought it'll be fine, and now I've infected 50 other people. No, there were house parties.
Patient zero.
Yeah.
Swansea patient zero.
At least I get attention.
Oh, you get made online story about that. That's the thing I was saying to somebody about Netflix. It's like the only way I get a special is probably if I was the victim of crime or I was a criminal. Like true crime is my route to Netflix. It will happen before I get a comedy one.
What would be your crime?
I think it would be end of my tether berserker killing. So there'd be a big body count, but none of it planned. That's probably what would happen to me based on my anger levels in lockdown. I feel like it's coming. But yeah, so it would be, a lot of violence but very quickly, and I'd be really sorry.
Yeah. Vix Leyton stars in The Spree.
Spree killer, yeah.
You hear that Primark is the last retail outlet left on space and that on Earth, and that's enough to get you. I'm going on a spree.
You can change your Twitter handle. You can change your Twitter handle to Spree our Vix.
I could.
I'll leave that one there.
I'll see if that's available. I like it. That's going to be my Halloween one this year. I'm going to make a note of that. Mm-hmm. I can't be Vix Leyton every year. It's too subtle. People don't get it. Like, am I too old to change my handle now? Is that a thing I should be doing seasonally?
I changed mine, but I'm no arbiter of cool.
Yeah, you are. You're the sink girl.
I've just stuck it. I'm loosely aiming high orchard, so it helps my unsolicited videos that I've been sending to celebrities.
She's only had 3, cease and desist orders, so it's going well.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I sent a video to Lily Tomlin this morning.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
What was it of?
Just me going, come on the sink.
I drive a truck. When you come on with the sink, because that works.
It?
Yeah,
I think that's a good PR play.
Wanda Sykes still not back in touch. Ricky Gervais, why didn't you get back in my video? Lucy Beaumont, still nothing. I mean, I'm aiming at different point levels. Tiffany Haddish, Tiff, why have you not got back in touch?
You never know, though. You literally never know.
Well, that's my
one of them might be reading.
I put in the video, you're a huge influence and a huge I absolutely love your comedy. You are amazing, but you are not telepathic. You already are not coming on the show. What's the worst that could happen if I ask? And that's basically how I go in. And it's like, come on, Lily, come on.
Well, I tweeted Jo Caulfield publicly, and that's how I got her on Comedy Arcade. So
is that how you landed Jo? Because she was brilliant.
Yeah. Genuinely, somebody. Yeah, I tweeted out looking for at the time comedians who liked cars, and it turned out she didn't even like cars. But somebody added Jo in, And I was like, no, Joe would never want to do my podcast. And she's like, I'm up for it. Message me. And I did. And it was on.
I heard that episode, right? And what's the guy? I remember his Twitter handle is Michael Packington. Ishan, right? So Ishan, Joe Caulfield, and Louise Lee, right? And all three of them went to boarding school, and you can hear Vix going, I was absolutely clear though. Room.
I did go around and I was like, it's okay though, because we've got 2 women and Ishan. So diversity is still fulfilled. It's got a vibe of Tory, but it's all fine. It's all fine.
You were like, when I was in boarding school, and you just hear Vix going, this isn't the way I was expecting it to go.
It's like occasionally I call men and panic. I'm like, oh fuck, there's 3 men on this panel. How am I going to balance it out? It's very rare that happens. 67% of the people I've had on Comedy Arcade are women or non-binary. So,
yay, that's brilliant.
And as of this morning, 56% of listeners are men. So women are funny, guys. We knew it already, but it's statistically, women are funny. So
there we go. And men can listen.
Yeah, maybe not to the end, but they start it with good intentions.
One thing that really jumped out at me, now we do a comedy review on this show, and we did Mandy by Diane Morgan. Have you seen that programme?
I have not. Tell me more.
Well,
I'm always
you've got to watch
my own
it.
stuff to 2 people and a dog.
We accidentally played a clip. And it had a bit of backing music, and we got banned in Canada because we were playing Harry Belafonte. But the scene in question was Diane Morgan as Mandy in a banana processing plant twatting tarantulas, which
loads of people have worked in banana places. Yeah,
Rich Wilson's job was in Fife Factory talking about tarantulas, and I'm like, This isn't like, oh, I had a paper round, or everyone's worked in Asda at some point. This is like, is there a secret underground banana tarantula killing sect we don't know about? Is it like footlights?
The week before, Zoe Lyons had talked about working in a banana plantation and the same thing, but she talked about snakes. Is this what we have to do to become famous as comedians? Do we have to serve time on a banana plantation? Is this a thing is this 100 gigs, banana place, success? Is that the route?
It's cheaper to go into Cambridge.
Yeah, there's route A, route B. Route B is banana based.
I am just sending my email off right now. Dear banana people. Please.
I was like, well, dear Cambridge University, I think
yeah. I have £10. Is that enough? Can I get in? I just want to I'll just sniff one of the classrooms and say I went. Is that okay?
Just give me the NUS card. That's all I need. I don't need to study there. Just give me the card and let me into the footlights, and I'll live or die on my own steam. Like I pay tuition fees for that.
Yeah,
I pay intuition fees.
Oh, glitter on glitter. Hello.
The glitter on glitter. Sorry, there was a bit of a nip in the air, and I was like, I did bring I know it's sequined, but I did bring an emergency cardigan just in case.
Go into that.
I've got us all covered because you got sequins. I got a cat. Woo!
Oh, nice.
So
we're ticking all the boxes here.
So Vix, you've got something up your sleeve regarding an open mic night.
It's not open mic. It is new material.
I do apologise because you were very evasive when we spoke. Like, I'm going to tell you on the show, and I was like,
I want to say it. You say evasive. I say our connection was rubbish because we accidentally cut each other off many times.
Was up a ladder.
Yeah, because I'm on the 5th floor. So yeah, it was less evasive and more just a tech failure. But yes, I have started a new material gig with the Cavendish. So live from the stage there. So the comedians actually get to be there, even though we're not allowed an audience yet. And it's been into people's homes. So I'm doing my first one on the 15th of April. And if that goes well, hopefully more of them.
Ooh, what time is that?
7:30 till
Uh-huh.
9. So I've got Esther Manito, Elf Lyons, Julian Dean, Juliet Burton. I've forgotten someone, Tom Tuck from the podcast. I only forgot him because I had to add him to the poster after I'd done the lineup because I didn't think he was free. So yeah, it's gonna be all right, I reckon. And this amazing new comedian called Kate Martin, who I saw at the Cavendish's comedy versions competition, and I liked the winner. She was really good, but I thought Kate should have won it. So I started championing her at my gigs. She may not have won the prize, but I am really pettily invested in her progress. But yeah,
the real prize, really, isn't it?
But yeah, and hopefully I'll be able to come back to Cardiff when Big Moose is open and do that gig again because I'd love to. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also, so the 15th of April, unfortunately that clashes with us. Are you able to catch your gig? Like, are we able to see it afterwards? Is that an opportunity to see it later on, or is it stay up anywhere, or can you pay for a link, or is it you've got to be there and that's that?
I haven't given that any thought. For you, I'm sure I can. Yeah, I'll just send you a bootleg recording.
Just for the two of us.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, that'd be awesome.
Because there's talk of people in the beer garden can listen through silent disco headphones, but I don't know why they would. That's a really weird thing to do in a beer garden. I'd love to believe that they want to, but I'm skeptical. That's the way forward. Silent comedy. That's just a Zoom open mic.
Yeah.
I just did a corporate gig where no one had their mics on, and they looked like they were enjoying it in their videos because a few people had their videos on but no mics. Now, of the two, choose the mic.
Yeah,
always the mic. We want the feedback in our ears. I don't need to look at your faces, because let's face it, we're all looking at our own faces anyway. Like, you're trying not to, but you're having a little look. You just quickly
yeah.
Well, it came up on my Facebook memories that it was it's a week plus a year that I did my first online open mic, and then the monster was created, and that was done through John Pearson, where he Skyped you and put it out to the world, and all you could see during your performance was John looking down, just doing tech stuff, and if you made him laugh, he'd go. And then carry on. That was like, oh, that joke's good because he went. And then we went through the whole, the Discord, and then the mic's on, the mic's off. It's been a fucking year, people. Cameras on, mics on.
Come on, be the change you want to see in the world.
They've learned to stop talking over. They've learned to put the dogs out. They've learned to put the kids away. Every now and again, you get one knobhead, like at that buffering gig that we were at. I've been lunching out on that piece. Old pony face. Well, when we were watching it buffering, and she had her screensaver on, but left her mic on. And during Robin's MC intro, she was like, "Oh yes, I was talking to Sandra the other day." No, just over the top of him. And then they said something like "pony." And she clicked on and she went, "Oh, you talking to me?"
No, that wasn't the same person. No, he bullied somebody unfairly because that was my friend Emma, and she hadn't spoken. No. Like, she put her camera on because she's a horse rider, so she thought it was something about horses, and so she put her camera on. And because she put her camera on, he thought it was her, and she was texting me going, "I have no idea what's going on." And I was like, "No, someone was shouting about something that sounded like pony," and she's like, "Do I turn my camera off? I don't know what to do." So he just,
oh my god!
Yeah, it wasn't her. It was not her. Justice for Emma, because Emma was on her own in that room, and she was just really confused.
She had no one to talk to. That's her argument.
I know, but she was by herself, and I was like, she's like, "I didn't say anything, Vix." I was like, "Someone else did," and then they let you take the fall. Let you take the fall.
Oh, double whammy.
Yeah. So I'm glad to clear that up because Emma was so confused. She was like, "No,
I stand by Emma. I'm apologising. I've never used your name because I didn't know it."
No, I felt so bad for her though because she comes to loads of gigs. Well, she's a massive comedy fan, so she's such a huge supporter of gigs. And then she didn't want to go to that one ever again because she felt like
she didn't.
It was so brutal. mental. Alex Edelman was just in like an interesting mood that night as well. So that it did completely, like, if some noise coming off the mic derails your set, that's on you, I think, to a degree. So
yeah.
I really like Alex, even though he fucked me over. I played Werewolf Live for the first time, and I was really new to the game. And the way Werewolf Live works is I think there's 9 of you, and it's a game where everyone closes their eyes and 2 people are the werewolves. And then the rest of the village who aren't the werewolves have to guess who the werewolves are. And if you're the werewolf, you have to sell it that it's not you. And he clocked me straight off the bat within 2 seconds. And I was with loads of pro comedians that I was really excited to be on with. So it was like Nick Helm was there, Sakisa was there. I'd never met them before. It's Estemanito, first time meeting them. And he was like, no, she smiled when she got a DM, it's her. And then just railed me for like the first 15 minutes going, it's her, she's the werewolf. And I was. And I was just like going to pieces, like internally screaming. And I managed to convince everyone it was him. And then what happens at the end of each day, the villagers pick somebody who they think is the werewolf who gets executed. And I managed to get everyone to believe that I was the sad open micer on a pro gig who was all confused and that Alex had bullied me. And he got taken to the gallows and he was so angry when it was me.
Unlucky.
In the olden days, comedians would get together, load of cocaine, load of champagne, probably sexually abuse a few waiting staff, and now you play, what is it, Werewolf?
Oh my god, it's so much fun though. But I was so excited to be there, and he clocked me within seconds. He was like, she smiled when she got her thing, it's her. And I was like, fuck, he's right, I did, he's got me banged to rights. And then I went so hard in the first game that I managed to get away with it, and then I was the first killed in the second game because I was firstly a massive liar and secondly a very smug winner. So I was like the perfect combination of people where they're like, we don't even care if it's you, we just want you out of the game because you've been a smug prick. So guts for glory. 1 win.
God, it sounds like
definitely play.
a lot of work. It sounds like a lot of fun, to be honest. It's like Murder in the Dark. I always loved Murder in the Dark.
Yeah.
It is. It's really good. You should get it.
We got a question of Hugh. Vix, you know this. We generally get a question of Hugh. Huge anus. And it's scary. I'm not going to lie. He's probably rifled through your bins. He probably won't murder you. Probably won't. But let's just say Jed Mercurio is probably going to write the next Line of Duty series about him. Here we go. The question is, hi Vix, whilst working on the Vice kiosk at Tesco, what was the worst thing you ever said over the tannoy system?
It was really nice over the tannoy actually, but the Vice kiosk, basically I sold cigarettes, lottery tickets and condoms were kept behind the kiosk, so you had to ask for all of those things, hence the Vice kiosk. So he's absolutely right, that is something I've talked about before.
All the bad things. Do they have like extra large or extra small ones? Like I love the XS, please. Keep them in the bag. Was it embarrassing or is it just condoms?
We didn't have any size options. It was one size fits all, which we all know who bought Sugar magazine when they had like vests and t-shirts. One size fits none. So like if condoms or anything like that, I don't know. I don't have to put them on, but I've not had a baby yet, so I assume that's all been fine. But condoms were my favorite because the wrapper was so shiny. They didn't scan, and whoever was buying them, you could see they brought up their courage to ask for them. They were on a promise. They got up the courage to ask, and I was there going, and they never scanned because they were too shiny. And then I had to tap it in, so I had it at eye level, then tapping it in. And like, I want to say I didn't ham it up and make it awkward, but I did, didn't I? Because I love attention, so I did do that.
What's the price on the Durex, Sheila?
Yeah,
I've got the Durex. No, not flavour, the normal one, Sheila.
Yeah, no, the small to medium.
Are the Trojans on 3 for 2? What's happening?
And I once told a smoker that it would be because they were like, "Oh, that's cheap," and I was like, "No, actually, we better for you if you just rolled up your £5 notes and just smoked those." I got a written complaint for that from a customer.
Oh my god, written complaint! God,
written complaint. They wrote. And that was before email was a big deal. This was like when I was 17. So they wrote in. They wrote.
It's a
But unfortunately, my boss was one of those old, benign men, white-haired men that just saw anyone under 30 as like his granddaughter. So he just kind of patted me on the head and was like, "It's fine, don't worry about it." Like, just popped it in the bin. Just popped it in the bin. It was lovely.
We will tell
Local
you about
shops.
it, but now we're going so that you can feel everything you need to feel, and then we'll put it in the bin. Oh, thanks, Mom. Cheers, Beth.
Oh, Chris Bolt, he was an absolute legend. Best boss ever.
Oh my God, I can't believe you remember his name. I can't remember any of my boss names.
I had one creepy man that used to come in all the time as well and ask me out. And bearing in mind, I was like 16 or 17 at the time. So I looked like a child. And he'd come in and it was awkward every time he came into the shop. And it got to the point where the till manager, if he saw him come in, would do a tannoy message to send me to the bakery, and then I just hide in the bakery until he'd gone. Which was
that's horrible.
But you know, when you just like, because like you talk about this, don't you? And it's like quite a dark subject at the moment because like women just every day just making these small things. It was a big joke in Tesco's, and I was in on the joke. But that's not acceptable, and I like to think that for all things not moving forward very quickly, if you did report that in a Tesco now, I like to think they'd have a word with somebody who's being inappropriate to a like underage member of staff.
Oh God, yeah.
Here anymore.
Yeah.
It culminated
it was only 5 years ago at the end of the day, wasn't it? So, you know, things need to change.
But it culminated in him coming in and actually asking me out at the checkout.
No, that's.
And I was like, no, I don't think so. I'm not really dating at the moment because I'm 17. I was just not men who were at that age. And he was like, oh, the last time I had a date was 20 years ago. And I was like, wow, that's before I was
that's
born.
your issue. That's your responsibility to fix.
And then he started to cry, and then I never saw him again. So I hope he's all right. But
what
very
wouldn't get a woman hornier than a man crying in front of you going, I haven't had it in 20 years. Oh, go on then.
Talking to a child, a 17-year-old, a 16, 17-year-old, a literal child. He
And
bought a lot of Tesco value dog food. I don't think he had a dog.
No. And the reason he hasn't had a date in 20 years is because he murdered the last one. So,
or he's asking out children at the checkout.
Yeah.
Changing tack just slightly. Could everybody in the room raise their hands if they won a comedy award at this year's Leicester Comedy Festival? Anyone? Anyone in the room? Did anyone win an award at Leicester Comedy 2021?
I got nominated. If that helps.
It says you won on
here. Vix, in case you're not aware, you've now won.
That's
so you got nominated. You got nominated.
I got shortlisted, but Pappy's Flatshare won, which is fair because it's been going for ages. Like I would have proper kicked off if it was another new kid on the block, but I was like, established, can't be angry. Obviously, I did. I went and like had a massive like kick the wall tantrum, but only for 2 seconds.
Well done.
Massive.
That's awesome.
Massive, mate.
It was such a weird ceremony though, because we all had this kind of hushed conversation around the fact that we probably would have heard before the event, because a lot of the awards have been like, oh, look, there's a pre-recorded message. And so it got to the night, but like me and a couple of other people were hoping that maybe this year was different. So we're like, oh no, maybe they are going to tell us on the night. And then the first award was announced, and it was a clearly pre-recorded video from another day. It was like, all right.
Yeah.
None of us won. That's fine. And everyone's in the chat box going, good luck, guys. You're like, I haven't won. I didn't record this, guys. Spoiler alert, I didn't record one of these. So it will be a real surprise for all of us if I won. But no, it was so exciting to be nominated. I did not expect it. And it's a testament to the fact I think there was a chicken in the audience. I don't think it was anything to do with the show per se. We had a chicken because this lovely couple called the Chapels have a load of lovely rescue chickens, and they call them all names of comedians. So they've got like an Aisling Beak. Aisling Beak was the one that came to my show.
Lovely.
So they were just in the Zoom with a chicken on their lap, which was just brilliant. So that happened. And Sakisa talked loads about fried chicken, and then some clever person on the next step was like, here's a chicken in the audience. So I can see why we got nominated because it was absolute chaos. But yeah, it was. I was so excited the day.
You've gone absolutely. You've just gone full steam ahead, and it is an enjoyable listen to. I genuinely like popping it on whilst I drive my truck around and having a nice listen. I like stand-up, obviously, and I like comedy albums, but I prefer that conversational parlour game kind of vibe. And yeah, Comedy Arcade, it's a really nice listen. Well done.
You never know where it's going to go. You literally never know what's going to happen. Like the one this week opens with Sarah Barron talking about a wanking-based injury. So I introduced all the guests and I was like, has anyone got any embarrassing injuries? And she's like, straight in. I wanked so much when I was 17, I gave myself a wanker's claw. And she's never met the other people in the call before. And everyone's faces like,
that sets the bar.
That sets the bar. I recorded with Russell Kane and Katie Brand earlier, and it was unreal. So yes, that is next week because I'm so excited about it because I've got a few already pre-recorded, but I'm so excited about this one. I'm just going to edit and that one's going out next week. But it was so good. It was really weird though. And the thing is, you meet like proper top flight comedians and they treat you like a peer because I think they've got so much respect for anyone who's coming through the ranks of whatever level they are. It's so nice.
Yeah.
And it's unusual. I don't know any other job you could do where you get that level of respect from people who've really like grafted for years to make it. The ladder comes down quite often, and that's why I found the Comedy Arcade is really lovely.
I don't think it's comedians that are the gatekeepers. I think it's promoters that are the gatekeepers. That's how I feel. When you meet a veteran comedian, they're very welcoming. They're free with the advice. They make you feel like you're one of them. But then you meet the promoter, and they're like, "Oh, you'll never perform on my stage. This is a pro gig." And you're like,
They're not the ones that are making it typically, though, are they? It's typically the good people and the shrewd people. But I think there's always exceptions, but I think the people that get right to the top get there because they have been nice and they've been gracious getting there, and that's why they've been able to make it. Because pro comedians who could do any gig when you're starting up will do yours, and that's what I really hope carries on, because I think there's a real evidence of that when you speak to promoters who are really established. It started off as favours. It started off in pub back rooms, them coming to perform because the audience was there, and there's so much of that. You hear that a lot with James Gill's Always Be Comedy gigs. The big names he gets in, like there's so much banter between them. They're like, oh, remember when we were in this like god awful pub in the outskirts of nowhere and you were putting on a gig, and it was there's so much of that. And I like to think this is like, for us, this is hopefully what we're going to be like in 10 years.
Yeah,
that's what I want to believe.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah,
for people that collaborate and help each other out.
Yeah,
we all go together like a school year. There are some people who are full of themselves and this is the best they're ever going to be. It's like a school year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
And we'll absolutely remember when it started because it'll go down in history. It won't be like, oh, what year was it now when we started doing online comedy? We'll know the year.
It's so interesting though, because you hear people, because like the Funny Women Awards open today, and I signed up for the first, within like about 6 weeks of doing comedy, I sent my videos in. Because the longer I've been going, the more nervous I've got about the quality of my stuff. Whereas back then I was like, this is fucking banging. This is going in. This is A-star quality. Bye. 2 years later, I look back at it and I want to bang my head on the table for my breathtaking arrogance. But I miss that. I miss that energy of just giving it a go. Because you hear about the stories of people like Cindy V, and it was like she'd never really done comedy before and she signed up for the Funny Women Awards and then won it. So I think those stories make us all want to give it a try, and I think those stories should always exist. But I signed up for that one, didn't get anywhere. Get last year I got exactly the same
thing. I'd been going for probably about 6 weeks, sent in my 5 minutes, and I was just well, they're insane if they don't take this. I mean, if at least Final Four. And I didn't get into the first heats, and I was like, a curse on all their houses. And I'm just wondering, like, for this year, can I just send a different filmed version of the same material?
This is the conversation I was having with my friend, though, because she said over the last year she's done gigs, but nothing filmed and nothing meaningful because it's really hard to get the same momentum.
Yes.
And she said, shall I just put my video in from last year? And I was like, why the fuck not?
Who's going to remember, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been in the judging panel, but I wonder, would they even be the same judges? Would they? I don't know.
But I think it's really interesting the difference between people who just went, right, we're going to make online work and we're going to hammer it and we're going to sit through the horrible gigs and push to the other side. And there are people that rightly thought this isn't for me, who are now starting back again, doing live stuff. And I think we're probably still both in the same place in terms of live gigs, but I'm feeling really nervous about stage stuff. So I did a few gigs over, like, in between the lockdowns, but I emceed because I was too cowardly to do a set for most of them. It's easy. If everyone's doing well, your job as an MC is really easy. So I think we're all starting off, as much as like we might be Zoom proficient now, and that definitely comes with a lot of benefits, and you've worked a lot of material out, relearning the beats of a live audience. I think we're all going to be in a very similar position. So it's sad that there are people that feel like they've taken a year off and they've lost it, because I don't think they have. And I think we're all going to get it back really quickly. But what we'll probably have, because we've hammered the Zoom gigs, is maybe a cache of material that is ready to be tested, whereas other people might still be working that through. So I'm glad that I stuck with the Zoom stuff, because the first few were harrowing. Nobody really knew the etiquette. Nobody knew what to do. But yeah, I love them now, and I hope they stay. I think I'd be sad if that disappeared off the planet again, because it's really nice to do gigs with people from home. So my dad comes to a lot of my online gigs now, and he wouldn't be able to, because he wouldn't be able to come up to London for an open mic that's probably got like 5 people on it. And it's like, oh my dad, it's in this pub in Dalston. You'll go down an alley, you'll think it's blind, you think you're gonna get murdered. Keep going. There's a pub at the end, it looks closed, it's not. There's a basement, I'm in it performing for 5 minutes. Do you want to drive? No. Whereas now he can just log in from his house. He's got a jazzy Zoom background on, he loves the attention. So I'd be sad. Like, a lot of my friends and people that I know have got to see me do comedy that never would have.
Well, it's the old joke that your friends always say they want to come and see you do stand-up, and shy of you doing it in their kitchen, and they still may say, "Oh, I'm in the living room, so I'll probably come and can you film it?" The closer the friend, the more committed they are to seeing you, the less fucking likely they are to turn up. You put their names on the guest list, you're waiting for them, and they're like, "Yeah, I ate late, so I felt tired."
Yeah.
And people have got a low gag reflex for bad comedy as well. Like, a lot of my friends are worried that I'll be shit and they won't know how to deal with it, or the other acts will be shit. And so I find it all fun. I like comedy nights. I like people bombing. I like people killing it. I like people to surprise me. I enjoy every part of a comedy night. So I'm quite happy to go to any. Whereas some people are just so secondhand embarrassed for what's going on. Even if the comedian's not embarrassed because they're trying new material, or maybe it wasn't their night and they've done 100 and they know this is 1 out of 99, the other 99 have been amazing. I've seen people like shriveling up next to me, just mortified on their behalf. Like, some people aren't for comedy that's not in an arena. They need to look around and see other people enjoying it, even if they're not enjoying it. If everyone else is, you go, oh, it's me. Whereas if no one else is, you're like, nah, this person shit. Which is how a lot of comedians who aren't very good get away with arena gigs, I think. Because you're looking around, you're like, I'm the only person not laughing. I must be wrong. Ricky Gervais must be hilarious. That's just an example, but
just an example.
Just on the top of your head. He's going to be a guest, so I'm saying nothing. He's going to be on our show any week now. We're going to get.
I've sent the message into old RG, so
4 a.m. and Pacific time, and join in.
Ricky, if you are watching if you are watching the show, if you could just pop in on the chat and just ask what you're thinking of the show.
Piers Morgan type situation. Come on, tell me I'm wrong. Come on.
That's it. I'm off. You shouldn't have the right to say anything.
Yeah.
Your views are not reflected by your guests. It's fine. You can put a little asterisk, anything along the bottom.
I was going to say, we're
Sorry,
very
go on,
aware of the
Lucy.
time, and thank you so.
Yeah.
I cannot thank you enough for stepping in at the 11th hour. And you already had a gig on, so you already had stuff to do. But thank you so much. And like you said, us ladies, we really did jump ahead of the train and go, what was that? No rules, online promotion. Oh, I think I got a show I might do. Let's do it. The gatekeepers are dead.
For now.
Yes. And a lot of them won't come back. I've already seen a lot of people bleating that there aren't any venues to come back to. I'm like, there are. You just need to do a tiny bit of work.
Yeah.
Other than just putting on your own Facebook profile, anyone want to give me a gig?
Yeah. Well, hopefully,
I'm doing some work.
Hopefully the promoters that do come out will be women, and we'll have more, mainly, more free. You know what I mean. You can telepath what I'm on about, isn't it?
No, I agree. I think it's reshuffled everything, and I think it has leveled the playing field to a degree, and we've all made new alliances, and we've all realised we are not at all reliant on the tiny gigs that we couldn't get on, or we could get on if we jumped through a hoop and wrote a pledge in bloods and brought 20 people. I think we've all learned a little bit about what our time is worth, but also about value exchange. Like, it's not about being paid, it's about feeling you've got value in some way, whether that's because you perform for free but there was an audience that was really receptive, or if you made a friend, or like, I think we've all learned the value of our own time, and I think that is very, very useful. So
awesome, excellent stuff. Lovely to see you, Vix. Lovely to catch up. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me back.
Oh, our pleasure. Hopefully you'll come back again soon and tell us what you've done in the next 6 months. That'll be awesome.
Yes, please. Have a lovely rest of the night. I'm watching it on the big telly, so I'll watch the rest of it.
Oh, she's got a big telly.
I've got it on the big telly. Yeah.
Everybody to find out.
Excellent fan. Thanks, Ms. Leyton. I don't know if you're a Ms.
Oh, thank you, Rayton, or Bearded Dragon. Well, aka Bearded Dragon. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll discuss that another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to watch the rest of the show and fill this up, and I'll see you on the other side.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Marvellous.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Take care now. Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Love Vix. So much fun. Such a lovely lady.
Without online comedy, or at least online reaching out and networks and support and all that stuff, I wouldn't have come across you. I wouldn't have come across Vix. I mean, Vix, like, I am Welsh, and I've always wanted to perform. So when I did that first kicking off bit where I was trying to do as many gigs as possible, I was looking for a gig in Caerphilly. That, for me, that was in my first year. The first time I did a gig, I wanted it to be in Caerphilly so I could get my friends from Caerphilly to come and watch me. But then the next dream would have been to go to Cardiff. So eventually I may have come across Vix, or if you had been in the area, we probably would have passed. But I doubt by my own volition I would have thought Swansea, just because when you're from Caerphilly, Swansea does feel like a fucking million miles away. I've done a London gig, but I mean, I don't know if I would have crossed paths with Vix if it hadn't been for what we've both been doing, what Vix has been doing and what we've been doing. Yeah. I'm grateful for it, considering, it's not real, you don't find new connections. Really?
It is real.
When I rang Vix yesterday, I just picked up the phone and was like, blah, 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 and she's like, blah, 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 blah. Like, we've never fucking met. But we communicated like two fishwives that had known each other for 30 years. That's what I need this. I can do that. Brilliant. Let's do it. Deal.
It's brilliant. Okay. Yeah, it is really good. And even if we had to cross paths, who knows if we would have continued to cross paths. Because we would have gone, oh, there we are, that was a gig. I've met so many people I've only met once, and then you friend them on Facebook and never speak to them again. Yeah, because there's thousands. That's why I've got over 1,000 people on Facebook, because that's what what you do, and then you never, you might even have a great chat on the night and have a good laugh and everything, and then you just never speak to each other. That's comedy. Okay, so finally we have our comedy review. And there goes the cat. So it's your choice this week, my lovely. Would you like to introduce it?
Yes, I chose, after a conversation with Dr. Maggie, I chose an old stand-up special from 1977, and the comedian in question was Phyliss Diller, who pretty much anyone who's anyone has done Phyliss Diller is an inspiration of mine. She was the inspiration for Joan Rivers and Roseanne Barr. It's sort of like everyone goes, Morecambe and Wise was my inspiration. Phyliss Diller was there for everybody to begin with, especially for female comedians in America. As I was the person who suggested it by our rules, it means that Sarah Bridgman, you are first up to discuss the lady that is Phyliss Diller.
Right. Yes. So Phyliss Diller, she there's a couple of things I want to mention before I talk about the video. One is that she, just to put it in context, she died in 2012 at the grand old age of 95.
Wow.
Yeah, well done. Also, she only started comedy when she was 37 years old. Right?
Love that fact.
Yeah. Not only, did she start when she was 37, but at a time when people thought being 40 was the age that you don't go out anymore, that you settle down, that you've had your kids. They've grown up by then, because people used to have their kids when they were around 20. The kids have grown up and gone off, and you're practically retired. In those days, 40 was old, really old. Remember that, you got the saying, over the hill. So she started her career 3 years before most people will be going, oh, well, I'm done. I'll just do the job, come home and, better take it easy because I'm 41, which is crazy by today's standards, but that's where we're coming from. In Joan Rivers' words, she was the original stand-up comedian. She was the first female, according to Joan Rivers, the first female comedian that stood up, no jokes, no songs, no dancing, just jokes. And she competed with the men. Those were Joan Rivers' words. Now, the reason why I'm preceding this is because she's clearly a historical figure.
Yes.
I'm judging her by her history, and this is a 1977 set. There were some jokes in it, like it's very,
its time.
It's of its time.
Time is the phrase.
It is of its time. Not only is it not PC, there is at least there are about 3 jokes that I'm like, I really don't like it, because of the attitude. However, and she's got very much jokes around, looking at it now, it's like an aficionado of comedy. It's very set, all one-liners, told brilliantly. She's got a very clear persona. She is the, Sullivan housewife, and she talks a lot. She's amazing in terms of her clowning. She's messing about. She's clowning. She's got these. Suze Kempner reminds me a lot of her.
Yes.
With the eyelashes and the the way she's talking. She talks like an old broad, like Jimmy Stewart on steroids. Very, hey, we've got to put the paper to bed. See, it's that kind of delivery, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was great. The jokes are very much jokes. They're one-liner jokes. She's made up her husband. She says in a little interview before the special that the husband, Fang, she calls her husband, he's not real. He's a caricature, a character that she's made up. In real life, she had 5 kids, and she's had a couple of husbands, I think. But she makes, so it's very of its time. She definitely was a female comedian at a time when there were loads of male comedians. It was like their version of a social workman's club comedian. That's who she was, right? So do I like that kind of style? No, not really. I can appreciate the jokes. I can appreciate the artistry, how amazing she was as a performer, how important she was. She had to break through. I can't only imagine.
Oh my God, can you imagine the glass ceiling she had to go through?
Now, having said that, as a piece today, would I want to watch it again? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'd rather find like 5 minutes, because I love the structure. I'd be going, okay, in terms of joke writing, I'd be interested in the structure. The woman has rape gags, guys. Gags.
Right, that really threw me.
Hang on. If anyone says you cannot do a rape gag, she's already done it. So clearly you can, right? Yeah. The jokes I weren't happy about, there's a bit of homophobia in there. I'm not happy with that.
Rape.
She left 10 rape gags and 3 homophobic gags.
But she left race out of it.
She's left. Because look at her audience. Her audience were, whiter than a snowy day.
I genuinely, I'm sorry, I'm talking over your food.
Right, thank you. So that's all I have to say. I love this structure. At the beginning, she had 2 or 3 topical jokes, very maybe a few more, maybe about 5 topical jokes of the day. She comes on, she talks about the president of the day, she had jokes of the day, and then she goes into clearly her older jokes that she's built up over many years. The woman, you've got to hand it to her. She's, a master, just not my cup of tea. So away you go. But I did love the look of it. I've obviously seen her around. It's lovely to sit down and go, oh, here is a Phyliss Diller set. I think I would look for like 5 minutes of stuff. She talks about, she's got mother-in-law jokes. My mother-in-law's so fat jokes. She's got, she talks about she puts herself down as well, about her looks, and, really funny. Well, it is, those jokes are clearly very funny. They didn't make me laugh in the moment, but I'm like, oh yeah, I can see this is a joke. I can see where the humor's coming from, but it's a bit of its time for me. So anyway, that is my review. That's what I think. But I'd say check it out if you are a comedy fan, if you're a comedy nerd. Check it out of interest, if nothing else.
I was listening to an interview with my friend. I know that you know Trish Sullivan, who I've started the WSI Plus with, and she did an interview. Oh yeah, one of my favourite influences is Phyliss Diller. I know that Maggie Irvin keeps posting Phyliss Diller. Like yeah, and I was like, I know of her.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy, can you recommend something? I was like, I got this, love. Oh, that first rape joke, that wakes you up.
You're like, woo. Is no one mentioning that? Yeah.
So, what?
She says the word rape like a number of times. She mentioned the word abortion once.
She was like, I'm the only woman that can walk through Central Park and not get raped. I'm the only person that can bring the crime rates down. One guy said it was a stupid guy that raped me. How do you know he was stupid? I had to help him. And you're like, Right. I mean, the one about Twiggy, how Twiggy hasn't punched her in the fucking throat, I have no idea. But
it's not down on Twiggy though, I suppose. And Twiggy calls herself Twiggy.
It is so offensive. I won't even rename it, even though I remember the joke.
Oh, I missed that one then. All I heard was Twiggy. If you've seen Twiggy, I'm the crow.
All right, I'll say it because I mean it's subjective. It's basically the fact that if Twiggy is so flat that if you tore her clothes off from behind, it would say "turn over before you rape me."
I
was just like,
I don't think she said Twiggy. I thought she said it meant herself. No. The bra that she got herself.
No, because then she goes on to her being flat-chested. But when she punches across, punches up, punches down, whatever she punches on, she follows it with a self-deprecation. I'm like, Sarah Bridgman is so female, blah, 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 blah. And everyone goes, ooh, that's a bit rough. And then I go, but not as stupid as me. It's always them hurt. Very mathematical. When she didn't start on the gays to begin with, because I was like, the rape's interesting. And then finally she did go for the homosexuals, and I was like, right, okay. I would have thought she would have been more iconic because Bette Midler wouldn't have gone for the gays. Bette started her career singing and doing shtick in gay saunas with Barry Manilow as her pianist. So she wouldn't have started off with that. She got revered as a gay icon very early on. And I just thought, Phyliss Diller, she's everything a gay icon needs to be, really. The sequins, the broadiness. And I was like, oh, come on then, TikTok, where's the race insults? Didn't arrive. So I was like, good for you, Phil. But I just thought, if she was a male comedian, for example, Roy Chubby Brown, who also does material that you know already. So Phyliss did I was so ugly as a baby when the midwife handed her to my mother, she slapped my mother. How many people have done that joke?
I think, yeah, I'm sure Joan Rivers has done that one as well. So Joan was good friends with Phyliss. So Phyliss must, if it was her joke, she must have let her use it.
I know I keep banging on about it, but I love that Ellis James Funny Nation. And when Owen Money was on it saying all the circuit comedians, because jokes weren't televised, jokes didn't have distance. I could tell a joke in Caerphilly and you could tell the same joke in Swansea. The audience isn't going to mix. So we'd swap jokes. Nobody would write their own material. This is this week's sketch. So I wonder if she was that first vaudeville boards that went to TV. So I was like, oh yeah, I've heard that joke before. And it's like nobody knew that there was a perishableness to material. I mean, fuck me. Was she ballsy? But this is what catches me out. Now, in that beginning VT where she's out of costume, she's a normal human being. She's not the character. And she tells you that Fang is a made-up person, not a real husband.
Yeah.
When Les Dawson does his My Mother-in-Law Said, he doesn't do that. He never tells you that the mother-in-law is imagination. Phyliss tells you the mother-in-law is made up. So when she says, when my mother-in-law takes her girdle off, she drowns her feet. And you're like, well, that's fat shaming. Well, actually, it's an imaginary person that she's fat shaming. Was it that because she wanted ownership on I'm being a bastard, but I'm not going to be a bastard about a real person? I want you to know it's a made-up person. Do you know what I mean? Whereas a lot of comedians are just like, my mother-in-law, she's so fat. Whereas she literally does that look down the VT and she goes, Fang is made up, the mother-in-law is made up, and I've never seen a clip like that before I started it. So the fat shaming
before the show as well, and the fat shaming is 10 years ago. Fat shaming wasn't a thing. People were just mean about people, fat people, and that's only come in now recently. Really, that bigger people go, hang on a minute, I've had a tit for this. And it's not on. It's only, it's not quite taboo even now. It's starting to be.
My mother-in-law had a pain under her right tit. Turns out it was an arthritic knee. Like there was so many, because she set up the premise that it was made up. I laughed at the fat shaming jokes because I knew that she was mocking an imaginary person. It was a caricature. It was a cartoon. Did she have more gags than Jimmy Carr? Yes.
Oh yeah. How did the memory on her?
I spent the day trying to answer this question. Did Phyliss Diller write all of her own material?
No.
Because she says in
the interview.
She said in that interview, the first joke she remembers was written by somebody else. So I was like, ping. So I wanted to find writing credits for that comedy special. I wanted to see Joe Wiseman, Harry Goldsmith. I wanted to see a list of 9 men that wrote that set, because those jokes were not written by a woman. They were anti-women jokes delivered by a woman, but they were not written by a woman. But all of the annals, because they're all Phyliss was amazing, they all say she wrote her own material. I spent a good half hour today looking for writing credits, looking at the different. Nobody will admit to writing her stuff.
But she said herself in the interview, she said when she started, she started out only doing like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and now she's built it up, and she said, I didn't have any writers helping me, implying that when she was later on, she did have writers helping her. That's how I took it.
That's how I took it as well, because those jokes, just because they're about a woman doesn't mean they're for a woman.
No.
And there was quite an interesting, like a meme I saw the other day, and I realised when I saw certain characters in a movie that don't like women, I realised those female characters were written by men.
Oh yeah.
But what was she monumental? Was she groundbreaking? Did she smash the patriarchy, even if she wasn't running her own strings? Fuck yes. I would watch more of her. I saw from what Maggie posted ages ago, her first ever appearance was on a game show, like Price is Right or something. And she was like, so little darling, I believe you're going to be a stand-up comedian, are you? And he was like, go on then, tell me a joke. And she was actually funny, off the cup funny. And I can see why she broke so many boundaries and records and rules. But ultimately, fucking hell. If that was Roy Chubby Brown's set, that would be why he's no longer talked about.
Yeah, I mean, you can really see where Joan Rivers got the inspiration from, because she was like the next incarnation, really. She's like
the whole time I listened to it, all I could hear was Sophie Tucker.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and she's my biggest. Could I be another comedian another time? I'd be Sophie Tucker.
Right. Yeah. Is there any Sophie Tucker anywhere?
There is. Save that for a couple more weeks when it's my turn. I want to find the right Sophie Tucker. I want to research it before I put it up. I don't just grab one off there. But yes, ultimately, guys and gals, and plus undefined, please do give it a go. It's of its time. Be prepared to go, what the fuck am I watching? But remember, it's nearly 50 years old.
There goes the eye.
50 years.
Don't watch if you're easily offended.
Do I think that Phyliss Diller would be on the kitchen sink? Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. That's why I did go down a bit of a PD rabbit hole, because there's loads of interviews of her. She did a set on Leno when she was about 90.
Wow.
Yeah, and she does one of the jokes that's in the special, not one of the offensive ones. So she had some amazing jokes. Anyway, I think we've come to the end, Lucy.
I've come to the end, but whose turn is it? Because we had a bit of higgledy-piggledy. So next one is yours. So if you would do me the honour, ready to write what the name of it is, could you please, Ms. Bridgman, what are we looking at next?
I could write it if you like, but this next person I have chosen because, humble brag alert, I actually gigged with this guy in the Glee Club when I was in an open spot, and he is Australian. And at the time, this was year before last, just before everything went to shit. He was like in Britain to start again. He was huge in Australia. He was doing really well in Australia, but he'd come to Britain because he was like starting on the circuit again. And the next thing I know, he's got a Netflix special. I'm like, ah! So it's Rhys Nicholson. I've not seen it yet. It's one that I keep meaning to watch. And it's Rhys Nicholson. He's the only one on Netflix, so you don't have to write this bit, but it's live at the Athenaeum. Live at the Athenaeum.
How are we spelling Rhys? English or Welsh?
RHYS. And I couldn't listen to his set in the Glee because I was just coming down from having been on the Glee for 15 minutes on a Friday night, getting heckled by these guys on a stag do, but bringing it round and doing quite well in the end. So I was like being comforted by the bar staff, and not comforted, I was all right, but they were like, oh my god, you did so well. I was like, oh, thank you. And they made me a mock cocktail because these stag guys were so horrible. the rest of the audience were fantastic, and it was a sold out audience. Reese blew this room away. You know, he absolutely, it was an amazing gig, and he blew the roof off it. So I've been meaning to watch this for ages, and I haven't. So I thought, right, I'm going to make it my one, because then it'll make me watch it.
This popped up at the end of something I was watching on Netflix, and it did its auto trailer. And I swear to Christ, on both of our lives, it came up, and I went, if I'm watching this, I'm keeping it for the sync.
I got there first. Can I just say hi, Max? You catching us right at the end of the show.
So he's been watching on my profile, so he's now mixed. It's now come through.
All right, ladies. Thanks, Max. If anybody is just popping in and they're like, oh, that's near the end, we are on YouTube. It stays up on YouTube. You can catch us on there. We're back in 2 weeks' time. We're going to have a week off for Easter, or Oyster, as we like to call it. We've got Rich Wilson on the 15th. Vix mentioned him earlier. Vix mentioned him earlier. Then we got Lorraine Headless. 29th of April, we've only blinking got Stuart Goldsmith.
Ooh, and then
King of the podcast.
TBC, because I forgot to upload the picture. TBC is actually, it's an acronym. It's the Barry Castagnola.
Yay!
Hey!
Yes, awesome. So yeah, we've got some amazing shows coming up. But in the meantime, have an amazing Easter. Oyster, are we calling it Oyster? Have a pagan Easter and enjoy. Yeah. And I'm about to do the outro. So have a lovely time, everyone. Thanks for tonight, Lucy. That was awesome. And see you next time.
Roll VT.
Roll VT. Bye.
I'll press it.
Well,
I just pressed it.
Well, that was the kitchen sink. Did we make you laugh? Did we make you think? You can now go to the loo. You can treat yourself to that great big poo. And we will see you next week. Yeah! See you next week.